Hello friends, and welcome to this video. Let's see and try to implement the concept that we have learned in the previous video. As we have seen, first let's try to write a simple function in Java which just prints a hello world. So let's see how to do that. Let's say public void greet, and I say sysout hello world. Right? How do I call it? For this I need a main method, and to call this instance method, I need a instance reference. So I create a object of this class. I say obj1 obj equal to new. Friends, just a disclaimer, I'm not following the naming conventions followed in Java because it's a very simple example, so please bear with me on that. Okay, so there is nothing extraordinary in this. Let's just try to run this, and you have hello world. Right now, the question that we have to answer is, how do I convert this method into a lambda? And as we saw in the previous video where we learned about the concepts, we said, okay, we have to remove the access modifier. So let me just copy this. What we said is we have to remove the access modifier, the return type, and the method name. And what we are left with is the arguments. In our case, there are no arguments. And then we have the body of the lambda. And to convert this into a lambda, we have to add the arrow symbol. Right? So this, my friend, let me just format it for you so that it's more clearer. And this, my friends, is your first lambda. But as you see, there is a compilation error. Right? And the reason behind this is we have to define the type of the lambda. We have to say, okay, this lambda is written for which functional interface. So I have not covered functional interfaces and it will come right after lambdas. So for the moment, please bear with me so that I can just show you how do we compile a lambda. How can we call a lambda, right? My intention is not to show you how to define and use a functional interface, but the idea is just to see how do we print hello world from lambda, right? So the intention is that we will go in very great detail into understanding what is a functional interface and how they are linked to a lambda. So during the meantime, please bear with me. So I say interface greet user, and I define a public greet method which returns a void. Right? As you know, an interface, if you define an abstract method in an interface, if you define a method in an interface, it's always public and it's abstract. Another bonus tip: any variable defined in an interface is always public, static, and final. That means it's a constant. So for example, right, it's any variable is public, static, final. This is not related to this video, but it was a bonus tip. So let's quickly see how do we call this lambda, right? Let's try to correct the